It's a tribute to Paula Abdul. We call this step forward or step back. The Seattle Kraken took a quantum leap forward after year one. Their win improvement plus 19, as you see. The question is, as I turn to Weeksy and EJ for the first time, Weeksy, you first. Do the Kraken take a step forward or a step back in the year that is to come?
I think they take a step forward.
Good.
I'm going to say that they take a step forward, and simply because they were able to establish a style of play last year where there was some consistency to their game, some good predictability to their game, plus some identity. This is a new franchise, so some identity to them. All the things they wanted to establish in the first year that they were unable to, but I say they take a step forward each.
I'll tell you what, they had a great year last year. A lot of things went right. They had a lot of contributions from a lot of different players. I just think that division, the Pacific Division, is getting tougher. I'm going to say they take a little step back because I just don't see another 100-point year. I think they're going to be in the mix. I think there's a very good chance they make the postseason. But they didn't. What did they really add to the mix? And they lost a couple of key contributors. Can Brian Dumoulin replace Carson Soucy on the blue line? We'll see. So for me, maybe a little step back for the Kraken.
We pivot to the Los Angeles Kings. One of our hosts is from Los Angeles and is a Kings fan. And he will tell you, I will tell you, that the Kings have not won a playoff series since the 2014 Stanley Cup Final. That's a long time ago. They have gone to the playoffs the last 2 seasons. So I asked for my fellow Kings fans, Weeksy, and you're wearing the Forum blue, as Jack Kent Cooke called it, even though it was purple. No one ever was able to prevail upon him. Step forward or step back for Los Angeles?
Step forward. I saw that they had a couple of their games in the postseason, specifically here, as you're seeing against Edmonton. And I saw the emergence of Kempe and some of the other young players in their group. Kevin Fiala, a heavy Kevin Fiala, a healthy Kevin Fiala, I should say, a heavy dose of his game goes a long way. Arvidsson. Now you've got Quinton Byfield, some of the other young players. All that to say, I say they take a step forward this year.
Yeah, you know, and it's hard when you think about a team that was over 100 points last year, talking about a step forward. But I agree with you on this one. You know, they added Pierre-Luc Dubois. Think about the LA Kings through the middle of their team now, when they've got Kopitar, they've got Pierre-Luc Dubois, and they've got Phil Deneau. Is there a better 1, 2, 3 up the middle than those guys? I mean, if there is, it's close, right? So, you know, the LA Kings, I think that addition is big for them. Some of the younger players are coming along, like you pointed out, Fiala and Adrian Kempe. Adrian Kempe is probably one of the most underrated players in this league right now. He's just been putting up numbers out there and continues to be a high-end offensive player. And, you know, we will see where things go for the Kings. I do wonder about the goaltending. That's a question we'll see as the year goes on.
A trivia question that would be hard to answer for anyone. Who was the only team to have the Vegas Golden Knights down in the playoffs in a series? The answer, the Winnipeg Jets. Shocking. They took game 1, but then they were ousted in the first round. You remember how frustrated the always likable Rick Bowness was with their uneven season. We look at their last 3 seasons, and I turn to you, Weeksy, and I ask, step forward or step back for Winnipeg?
I'm going to say step neutral.
Staying put.
Because I feel like they're staying put. They're a neutral. He got a lot out of the group. Rick Bowness did a nice job with that group last season. There was a lot of turmoil. They didn't know who the coach was going to be. There was a lot of uncertainty. And, of course, one of their keys is in the net and goal in Connor Hellebuck out of Michigan. Another one is Josh Morrissey, who I was calling him Norrisy last year because he was in the Norris Trophy conversation. But I think as a group, they're still a little bit thin right now. I say they stay neutral.
Yeah, I like that you have them taxiing.
Yeah, exactly.
Taxiing on the runway.
Yes, exactly. Nice.
Not going back to the hangar.
Well done.
I'm going to say a little bit of a step back. They had 95 points last year, and I just think they've made a lot of roster changes to their group, and they're going to continue. They're going to be one of those teams that, if they don't get out of the gate quick, what are we going to be talking about? What's going on with Scheifele? Are they going to move him? What's going on with the goaltender, Connor Hellebuck? Are they going to move him? So I think there are going to be distractions there this year. I like some of the additions that they were able to make. You know, they were forced to trade Pierre-Luc Dubois. They hope that Iafallo and Velarde will come in and be helpful players for them. But for me, I'm going to say a little step back just because I think the uncertainty moving forward with some really important players can impact that group.
Our next team, the Vancouver Canucks, missed the playoffs last year for the 7th time in the last 8 seasons, and you see on your screen 3 straight misses. That doesn't go down smooth for the competitor that is Rick Tocchet or for Elias Pettersson and the rest of that group. Weeksy, Canucks, step forward or step back?
Step neutral.
Oh, dear.
Step neutral. And Elias Pettersson, money. Thatcher Demko when he's on his game, money. Of course, Hughes on the back end, money. But here's what concerns me. When I hear Rick Tocchet, a veterani like Rick Tocchet, saying our defense is going to have to be by committee. We don't have any set pairs. There's going to have to be some fluidity on our blue line. That worries me because there were D to be had again in the offseason.
Yeah.
And they didn't go out and acquire any of those big D.
Yeah.
So that kind of worries me.
Well, they got
for the Vancouver
Soucy.
Canucks.
They got Soucy and they got Cole, but again, are they the answer? I mean, to me, I look at that board. Quinn Hughes is really the only guy. I mean, he's a legit number one. Tyler Myers, last year of his contract, who knows how long he's going to stay there. Philip Hronek, he's been up and down in his career. He can be a helpful player. Maybe he'll find chemistry. With Soucy, I think really Tocchet found out the same thing that Bruce Boudreau and Travis Green found out, like that they're not good on defense. I mean, that's the problem. And, Jimmy Rutherford, who's the running things there, talks about, well, we need more structure. Like, you need good players. And then the structure and all this stuff falls into place. Last year, they got off to a bad start because the goalie, Thatcher Demko, was coming off a off-season surgery, didn't play well, missed a lot of time. For whatever reason, management undermined Bruce Boudreau there. I have no idea why you would do that, but they seem settled on things with Rick Tocchet now moving forward. I think with a healthy Demko, and they have a lot of offensive weapons, I mean, this is a team that they could move forward.
Sounds like step forward, right?
I'm going to say step forward only because I don't think there is a step back for this team right now. I mean, it was pretty bad last year, and in the last couple of years when you think about, this is the third coach in 3 years to start a season. So it better be a step forward, or I don't know what happens next there.
Well, listen, they've got two defensive coaches that might need to figure in the lineup. That played a long time,
Adam
that had
Foote,
great careers,
right?
Adam Foote and
Sergei
Sergei
Gonchar,
Gonchar.
yeah.
And I
Suit
just,
up, boys.
Exactly.
Suit up.
And I'll say this, of course, when Jimmy Rutherford ran Pittsburgh, let alone Carolina, and they won, and same thing with Pittsburgh, look at those blue lines, especially the D core that they had in Pittsburgh. So I think that there's an opportunity for them to improve the defensive core, but this team, it will have to be team defense.
Yeah.
Not just defensive core players outside of Quinn Hughes running the show.
And it'll be
He's prime time.
Yes.
And it'll be Demko, right? Like 2
100,
years ago when they made the
100%.
late push,
Oh, yeah.
Demko was really
He can
good.
steal
Last year he
games.
was hurt early, didn't play for most of the season. When he came back late in the year against an easy schedule, he played well. We'll see how things go this year.
Oh, captain, my captain, Quinn Hughes on the back end, the most points by a defenseman in Canucks history this past season, eclipsing a record previously held by Quinn Hughes.